The final panel of today. The title of this session is Effective Local and International Marketing Strategies for Real Estate. I'm delighted to ask Steve Melhuish, CEO and co-founder of PropertyGuru Group, Harbour, director of the Ho Chi Minh branch of batdongsan.com.vn, Ui Van, editor-in-chief of FNBC, and last but not least, Ian Painton, content marketing consultant and founder of #content.com, to join Andrew on the stage. Thank you.
Hello again. Thank you very much for experts showing up. I think we have absolutely an amazing panel here of amazing experts with great experience in various areas of property marketing. And the topic is effective local and international marketing strategies for real estate. Again, just to introduce Steve. I think the name of your company serves you right. He's a guru of marketing. He's been in this business since 2006 and built PropertyGuru, which is Asia's leading property portal, present in Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia. So we're very lucky to have you, Steve. Thank you. Mr. Ui Van, editor-in-chief of FNBC, the leading business TV channel here in Vietnam. We have Ha, director of Ho Chi Minh branch of batdongsan, the leading real estate portal here in Vietnam. And Ian Painton. Ian is a content marketing consultant. So we have very different views on marketing. And to kick off the discussion, there's absolutely no doubt that this is a very interesting time for the Vietnamese market. It's as hot as it gets. It's a great market, but there's a lot of new projects coming out. There's already talks of oversupply, which puts a lot of pressure on the property marketers. What do you think are the biggest challenges the property marketers in Vietnam are facing right now? Who can I ask to answer first? Steve?
Okay, so good afternoon everybody. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very excited to be in Vietnam. I've been here for about 12 months and it's amazing how much the whole markets and city has changed so much. I feel a bit of a fraud sitting up here because you mentioned Property Guru. I don't feel like a Property Guru about the Vietnam market at all, so I can't really comment. What I can see is that I guess the market feels like it's starting to top out a little bit. And if I reflect a little bit of what we've seen in other markets in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand, is all those markets are starting to cool, and therefore that presents some challenges because therefore there are properties that are starting to age. There's unsold inventory, and so increasingly we're working with our developer clients about helping them sell their properties faster. So we're going to them with solutions around how to speed that whole process up to clear their remnant inventory. So I suspect that there will be parts of that happening in the market, or certainly demand from developers in the future, if not now, for that kind of help.
Mr. Ui Van, how do you see this question?
Good afternoon. I think I look at your presentation very carefully. You make excellent point on getting customer to the seller. But still one thing that get the buyer understand the customer. And you don't agree that Vietnamese customers are special. I don't agree too. But there's one thing we have to keep in mind that 7 years ago, 8 years ago, there's big crash in Vietnamese market. And people lost money when they put their money in market. And that story still in their mind. So you talk about the challenges of a marketer, how to get that story clear from the mind of customer. Because everybody still remember clearly how much money we lost 7 years ago. And now we have to tell them that that story probably will not happen again. Or be careful, next year that may happen again. I don't know. So the seller have to tell the customer. I think that's the challenge.
That's the trust issue which we've been discussing. And how would you see this topic? What do you think is the biggest challenge for property marketers right now?
Firstly, I really thank PropertyGuru for inviting me here today with you. For me, I come from a leading property portal in Vietnam, so I work with so many marketers, not only in Ho Chi Minh City in the south of Vietnam, but also in other provinces. And sometimes I interview them to hear their advice, their idea, and also their challenge and the question about how to make marketing in the best way. But I think that for marketers, they have to face with a lot of challenges. But I think the big one is how to invest their money and how to spend their money, the time, effectively and successfully. Because now the marketers, they have so many ways and so many portals, so many channels to do marketing, but they don't know how to use this in a good way, and sometimes they will be bothered by a lot of suppliers, for example, but they are not enough good. So I think that the best job of a marketer is how to make the best marketing strategy and use money in the right way.
Ian, you have a different look at the market here from a different perspective. What have you seen which was interesting?
Yeah, a little bit. Thanks again for having me, PropertyGuru, Property Report. I think the biggest challenge at the moment for marketers anywhere is digital, and is talking to people in 2016, 2017, and 2018. Nobody just wants to hear these days about what the marketing manager wants to say. People online are a lot more discerning, they've got less time, and they want to read something they want to read. So I think the biggest challenge facing all marketers everywhere, especially property in Vietnam, is what is the message you're shouting about? What is your content strategy? Because you can shout and you can shout and you can shout as loud as you want online. If the message isn't there and the content strategy isn't tight, then you're just adding to the noise. And when I say content strategy, I think I mean content in paid channels. So things like listings, PropertyGuru, Property Report, things like owned media, mainly. And that's developers coming up with websites, as you were saying earlier, and actually from the very start having a content marketing strategy. Building content marketing into the DNA of your development. The reason I think it's perfect is because the real estate industry is very long tail, and that's perfect for content marketing. So I think the biggest challenge is digital and getting the message right, not just shouting what marketers want to shout, but saying something people want to learn about.
I would agree with that. I think if you look at what's going to happen in Vietnam, there's 44 million people who are online today. It's going to grow to 82 million in the next 5 years. So it's going to double in the next 5 years. So the whole market's going to grow. And consumers did about this before, Andrew. In the old day, you did flights, you did campaigns. The challenge with that, which we've kind of been thinking about the last 3 or 4 years, is that if you invest your advertising campaign at a certain time, let's say for 1 month or 2 months, you are relying on someone actually looking for their property just during those 2 months. But in the digital world, as Ian has said, content marketing allows you to do this always on. So you don't know when someone's going to wake up at 4 a.m. and start thinking about property and start researching online. So you need to think about that always on piece. And quite often we have this conversation with our developer clients about the old way of advertising, which you talked about, Andrew, but the new way of advertising, which is content marketing, and that always on presence. The second challenge that we have around this, and I guess it's very relevant also to Vietnam, is developers tend to not focus on the consumer. They tend to think about their project. And I had this conversation last month with a very large developer in Malaysia, and they were super proud about this fantastic project they developed in the Skandar, in the south of Malaysia. And they were saying, look at this project, look at architecture, look at this, look at this, look at this, fantastic project. And they said, how can you help us market this project? We want to just talk about all the USPs of this one project. And I said, it's completely wrong. You should be talking about the destination. You should be thinking about, arts, culture, lifestyle, investment, education, transport, work, all the reasons why someone may want to move their family and their home and relocate around that. So I think content marketing is a great way of actually telling a story about a location where your property tends to be, and of course, as a result, promote the project.
While we touched on that, the unique selling proposition of the message, Mr. Buivan, you're into television, you're translating the message. What are the developers bringing up at USP as a reason why I should buy? And what do you think they should be saying?
I think that many developers in Vietnam, they know quite well that they are selling not to the end user. They are selling to secondary investors. So all the time, the message is you buy this piece of asset and you can sell it at a good profit.